The title of what I have to share today is called God, I Can't, but with you I can. And I've got it written out here because it's easier and I don't have to think about this off the top of my head. So again, it's called God, I Can't, but with you I can. Have you read the story about Gideon in the Bible? You should probably read it before listening to what else I have to say. You don't have to, but it'll probably make more sense. So it's in the book of Judges, chapters 6 through 8. When Gideon followed and obeyed God, he let go of what his identity used to be and stepped into faith and obedience to God to the degree that his old identity faded away. He might have thought that's what he was and what others thought he was, but he did not let that keep him from faith in God and obedience to God. His identity and reputation were not the same after that. Really, one's lowly opinion or view of themselves makes it easier for them to submit to God and follow His lead instead of their own. Their confidence was or is not in themselves. You can see this with other people in the Bible too. Their confidence was in God. God's power had a reputation with Israel's enemies. God had a reputation, and what gave Gideon, David, Joshua, and others power is that God was with them and that He was their God. God is the same now as He was then. He is still with His people, and He is still with His own as they move in faith and obedience to Him. And I've got some Bible verses to share too. And the fear of God came on all the kingdoms of the countries when they heard that the Lord had fought against the enemies of Israel. So they said to him, "From a very far country your servants have come, because of the name of the Lord your God, for we have heard of His fame, and all that He did in Egypt, and all that He did to the 2 kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon, and to Og king of Bashan, who was at Ashtaroth." So they answered Joshua and said, "Because your servants were clearly told that the Lord your God commanded His servant Moses to give you all the land, and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you, therefore we were very much afraid for our lives because of you, and have done this thing." Before the spies lay down for the night, Rahab went up on the roof and said to them, "I know that the Lord has given you this land, and that the fear of you has fallen on us, so that all who dwell in the land are melting in fear of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the waters of the Red Sea before you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og, the 2 kings of the Amorites across the Jordan, whom you devoted to destruction. When we heard this, our hearts melted and everyone's courage failed because of you, for the Lord your God is God in the heavens above and the earth below."